What's up, fam? Today we back at you with a new video, and what we're gonna do is talk about the most asked questions about the MPC Beats software and give a little bit more insight to show people a little bit more techniques that they can use inside the software. Follow me. All right, y'all, before we get started, I forgot to put this at the end of the video, so I'm just going to put it here instead. From here on out, I've started a new playlist. It's called BlockSquad Underground. The link will be in the description, and the playlist is open for anybody to add their beat making videos to this playlist. And also what I will do is go through this playlist whenever I'm creating my next videos, and I will showcase some of this content at the end of my videos from here on out, as long as I get participation. The only requirement that I ask for these videos is that they do not contain audio that has copyright claims. As long as they don't, I will feature your video at the end of my videos from here on out, again, as long as I get participation. One more time, the link will be in the description, and it's for my new and up-and-coming MPC beat makers who are starting out on YouTube, who need some extra exposure. And I just want to do my part to help boost up the community. Now, let's get into the video. All right, we have the MPC Beats software open. It is on the opening screen, and we're going to go straight in. What we're going to do is select an empty project. Now, for those of you who want to keep up and want to follow along, be mindful that I am using the advanced window set. Some of you may be using the simple window set, which is fine if that's what you want to use, but if you want to follow along with me, then you might want to switch to the advanced window set. Now, how do you switch? You go to the view menu, go down to workspace, and then you have a choice between simple and advanced. I'm using advanced. Now, some of you may be also using Windows computers. Please also be mindful that your Windows menus and things of that nature may be in a different location. But other than that, everything should be the same. Now that we got that out of the way, the biggest question that I've been asked about MPC Beats from a lot of people is how to load and install VST plugins inside the MPC Beats software. So let's get right into it, and I'll show you exactly what it is you need to know. If you already have VST plugins loaded and installed on your computer, you have already made it through part of the process. Now, the next thing you want to do is go to the MPC Beats menu and go to Preferences. Now, inside of Preferences, you want to select the Plugins tab. Now here you want to make sure that you have the folder locations of all of your installed VST plugins checked. And if you do not have them checked, you can click this drop-down box and browse to the location of your VST folders to select that folder. Now, once you have your folders selected, you can either check rescan all or scan new, and the computer will search to find all of your VSTs and load them into the software. You must do this before you can use the VST plugins, or the MPC Beats software will not know where they are. So as you can see, what mine is doing is going through and finding plugins. I pretty much already have everything loaded, but it's checking them, rechecking them, and getting them ready for use inside the MPC Beats software. Usually only takes a few minutes, not very long at all, depending on how many plugins you have. Now, once it's done, you will see this green done sign with saying scan complete at the bottom, and you can click OK. Now from here, all of your VST plugins will be scanned into the system. Now, in order to load these VST plugins, you go up here to the left pane and you click on the plugin icon. Now, as you see, when you hover over the plugin, you actually get the word plugin that pops up on each one of these items to show you what it is that you're actually selecting. And again, you want to select the plugin. Now, once you have the plugin item selected, it'll automatically default to program 1. There's no problem. Don't worry about that. as you add more plugins, it will change. So it'll go to program 1, program 2, program 3, and it'll ask you if you want to use a new program in each instance, and the answer should be yes. By default, it has 2% selected. To change that, you just click on the drop down arrow and this box will pop up. You can load in the default Akai plugins for instruments, or you can click on the VST, and then all of your installed VST instruments will be available. I'll load up Sublab, which is one of my favorite 808 plugins. It's pretty dope. Now that we have Sublab loaded, you click this little square with the arrow icon on it to pop out the plugin so you can actually see it and edit it. Now from there, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do inside the plugin. So again, you have the option to play it. You can select your presets inside the plugin. And with Sublab, you also have the option to create your own custom 808s as well and save them. So that's how you load VST plugins inside the MPC Beats software. And that will work for any VST that you have on a computer, any instrument VST that you have on a computer. Secondly, we have effects plugins. So loading effects VSTs is pretty much the same concept, except for instead of choosing the plugin instrument slot to load your instruments, like I did with Sublab, we will go down to the insert slots. And now we have 4 insert slots available for use. Select whichever one you want. We already have Sublab loaded. And so on the first VST slot, we are going to go to our VST plugins, find a plugin that we want to use. While I'm doing this, because I do have a lot of plugins, I'm going to sort by manufacturer to make it a little bit easier to navigate. Now when we go into the VST folder, we'll have all of our plugins listed by the manufacturer, which will make it easier for us to find them. So I'm going to go down to Kyle Beats, and we're going to add drip to this 808 plugin. And then, now for the inserts, if you want to pop out the inserts, you got to double click them. And it'll pop out the insert for you, and you can change your presets and everything from there. So now we still have the 808 loaded up. So as you can see, you can play it around and use all of the available options. Pretty easy, right? Let's move on to the next question. I'm gonna go to a different track for this one, just so we can make sure we're starting fresh. How to build your own custom drum programs. Pretty easy. So now we're gonna, on a new track, we're gonna select drum program. Drum program 1 is selected by default. And as you can see, all of the pads here are empty. And clicking them won't play anything. Also, playing the pads won't make any sound at this point because there is nothing loaded. Now, say that we have a folder laying around with a bunch of old samples in it, whether it's drums, kicks, snares, hi-hats, and we want to make a drum kit out of it. Inside this default drum program, Akai has made that very easy. I have a folder opened up right here. As you can see, it has a bunch of kicks in it. I can play them. Right? Now, in order for me to use some of these kicks inside the drum program, if I want to make a new custom drum program, it's as easy as taking whichever kick I want and dragging it to the pad I desire. And now that kick is on the first pad. Easy peasy. Now let's open up our folder. We're going to back out of here. We have our kick. Maybe we want a different kick also. Yeah, short, fast, quick. So we got something 808 like, then a little bit more of a punchy kick to go with it. Okay. So now we want to go to claps. Let's go to claps. So we got a kick. Now we got a clap. Drag that clap. Bam. Drop it on the pad. Okay, easy peasy. Let's keep it going. We got a clap. We also might need a snare. What kind of snare do we think we need for this particular patch? I'm kind of liking this one. Let's drag this one in. Drop it right over top of that clap. Now, what do we need? Some hi-hats. Definitely need some hi-hats. Let's go grab us some hi-hats. All right, grab this one, drag it right in, drop it. Okay, let me see. Let's get another hi-hat or something similar. We go open hat. Let's drag this open hat right here. We got a shaker. Drag that one right there. Let me see. What other kind of sounds we want? You want some percussive sound? Triangle. Yeah, let's grab that. Drop that in there. Now we got the beginnings of a drum kit. We got all of the basic elements. We can continue to add sounds to this drum program, but for now, we have the basic built. I'm terrible at finger drumming. Let me stop. But as you can see, it's very easy to build a drum program inside of the MPC Beats software. Now, next, once you've built out your drum program, say you want to save this drum program for future use. What you're going to have to do is save the current program. So you go up to the File menu, go to Save Current Program. You can name it whatever you want. Say we'll name this Beat Street. And then we'll go save it to the desired location. Bam, that easy. Now we have our custom drum program saved for future use. Next question, how do we use automation inside the MPC Beats software? So there are a few ways to use automation in the MPC Beats software. You can do automation from within the step sequencer, or you can do it directly in the edit window, which is what I like to use more so than trying to do it inside the step sequencer. I find it a little difficult for me and my taste in the step sequencer. So at this point, I rarely even try to do the automation inside the step sequencer. But for people that want to try it, it is there. I'm not really going to get into that because it's something that I very rarely use, because I honestly don't care for trying to do it in the step sequencer. This way is also effective and it will get the job done. Inside the edit window, you have this little automation button and a drop down arrow. You can click that and then you can choose what it is that you want to automate, whether it's on a track level, program level, parameters, or pad level. So what we're going to do is go to a track level and go to the mixer and maybe the pan. So now that we have the pan selected in the automation window, you see it puts a line straight down the center at the bottom. So the top will be this line right here, and this is the bottom, and the center line is no pan at all. So what we're going to do is go to the pencil icon up here at the top, and now we can draw in our automation. So now we got a slow pan left and right. Now, as you can see, drawing in the automation, it draws it in steps, kind of big steps if you notice. Now, if you want your automation to be a little finer than that, you can hold down Shift on your keyboard, your laptop keyboard, or whatever keyboard they're using, and it will draw the automation in a lot finer strokes. So it's fairly easy, and you can automate pretty much any parameter inside the MPC Beats software. You can also do this if you have an MPK or any other MIDI controller. You can use the knobs on the MIDI controllers to do the automation as well. So if you want to use a MIDI controller to do the automation, for instance, I'm going to use the MPK Mini 3 to control the volume knob on the program level. Now, if I want to automate this, what you're going to have to do in the MPC Beats software is go up to the top right corner. You see this green R? Click on it and it will turn to a red W, which means that it is in write mode. So now, when you play, you can use the MPC Beats. You can use the MPK Mini to automate your parameters. So as you can see, I'm using the knob on the MPK Mini 3. So there you have it. That is how you do automation inside the MPC Beats software. Now, next question, and probably one of the questions that I've been asked the most: how do you import a beat or a song that you created in a different software into the MPC Beats software in order to further build on it? Very simple. We can pull up one of the finished beats that we created some time ago. There's more than one way to do this. The first way is to open up an audio tab. We got the MIDI tab right here, right under the home tab in the top left of the screen. The next tab over, audio. Now, once we're in the audio tab, we can grab the beat, drag it into the audio tab, and drop it. Now, when doing this, it is very helpful if you know the original BPM of the song so that everything will match up properly. If not, you can figure it out using the warp, playing around with it a little bit. But if you know exactly what the BPM is and you can set it, it will be very helpful to you. Now that we have our music loaded in the audio tab, we can actually go and see that it is about 76 bars long. 75, 76 bars. Now we can go back to our MIDI tab, and our MIDI tab will also be the same length as the audio tab. Now that we are in our MIDI tab, let's say I wanted to play a VST instrument over top of this. We'll go back to select our VST, hit the plus box for a new plugin instance because I don't necessarily want to use Sublab. We'll go into our VST Plugins, Tone 2, Electra X. Let's try that. Pop that out, go to the browser, click on a random arpeggiator sound. Now all you have to do is hit the overdub and play start. And basically you get the point. You can play whatever it is that you want to add onto this beat. Now, if you don't want to play your instrument that you're trying to add to whatever production you already have to the full entirety of the song, then I would suggest that you take that song that you already have and resample it. Now, in order to do that, all you have to do is click the sample editor, and that audio file should already be loaded up because you loaded it up and put it on an audio track. So now that we have our sample loaded up, what we're going to do is chop up our sample. I'm going to use manual chops, and we're going to break it down into sections of the song. We're going to make a chop for the intro, a chop for the hook, chop for the verse, chop for the next hook, so on and so forth. Now we're going into the drop. going back into the hook. Now we're at the end of the song. Now we're going to go to extract new samples, new program, with new samples. And we're going to select do it. Now we can go back home, and under our drum programs, we can select the new program we just created. Now what we'll want to do is record this new drum program inside of different sequences to sequence out the beat. For instance, sequence 1 is going to be our intro. So we'll go up here, overdub, okay, now this is going to be our intro sequence. Say if we want to play a piano section on this sequence. Now go to a new track. We'll go to track 3. We'll open up a plugin. We have Electra X still open. We'll stay inside there. Now we'll hit overdub, play start. So now we're playing something. Over our intro with our VST plugin, whether it's a piano or any other type of sound. And then we will continue to build out our sequences. We will go to sequence 2, and we're going to add the next part of the beat, which would be the verse. We'll go back to our drum program, make sure that we have creeping selected. We'll hit overdub, play start. Now also for this sequence, because this sequence is not 4 bars like the intro is, we can make this longer. And we're going to make it a 16 bar sequence. So let's see. Exactly. Now we can go back to our plugins, go to a new track in this sequence, and then we can again play whatever we wanted to play over top of the beat we already had made. And you just keep doing this until you build out the full song. I would rather do it this way than play the piano instrument throughout the entirety of the song, but some of you might want to play it through the whole song, and I'm sure you're much better at it than me. But again, hopefully I've answered all of your questions in this video. This is going to conclude all that I have today. Keep making beats and be blessed. Thanks for coming through. I'm out. Oh yeah, one more thing before I go. Once again, do not forget the BlockSquad Underground playlist. The link is in the description. Click the link, add yourself as a contributor, and add your videos to the playlist. All right. I'm out for real this time.